Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for just checking into the WASHYE podcast, also called Counting Wisdom. Today we're just going to talk about some tips on just when you're alone. Lately, I have just been, during the pandemic, kind of just been a little bit isolated. I've been staying with my parents, and I wanted to just go over kind of my experience, but also throw out some tips for others, what has worked for me, what has not worked for me. So let's jump right into it. So basically, what has not worked for me is watching TV all day. I think that TV is definitely a good go-to when you absolutely cannot think of anything else to do. There's moments where I actually literally, I know I have things to do, but it's like I just can't think of it to like what I need to do in order or in a certain process to get it done correctly. And so I end up just sort of going for entertainment instead of so much productivity. Now I have a sort of a small side job. I had the small side job for the whole summer, and also just going into fall. And I recommend that being when you're alone. Take advantage of YouTube. Start a video blog, or just start making videos that you think are somewhat interesting to yourself. Maybe not trying to reach a whole bunch of subscribers. I know that a lot of hot topics, if you talk about certain topics that are kind of very controversial, those can get you some high views. And so I think the summary of this section right here is trying to stay productive, and and that is even at your lowest point of productivity, trying to stay productive. So what has worked for me. So those are the things. One of the things that hasn't worked for me, what I was saying, was watching TV. One thing that has worked for me was, trying to meet with my parents, trying to talk with them about just any other subjects. Talk to them, have a Bible study, or talk about something fun, or watch a movie. I just watched a new Enola Holmes movie on Netflix, and I thought it was really good. It's a detective movie. Sometimes I'm not always into the detective movies, but it was actually pretty good. And we watched that together. I watched it on my own by myself for a little bit. So I would say trying to keep your mind busy, active, healthy. I've been drinking this whole summer a lot of V8, a lot of good vegetable juice, just trying to get nutrients, keep my mind healthy, keep my mind active, and that has been working. Let's see, what hasn't been working is kind of like losing my cool, I think. Letting the stress get to me, letting anxiety get to me, or freaking out when I do get anxiety and there's nothing I can do about it. I've noticed that there's certain points where I actually can't not control so much. I'm learning how to control it, looking out the different situations of when I'm going to be stressed out. But I've actually learned that there's some difficult times where there's nothing I can do about either I'm having an anxiety attack or panic attack in a low-key manner, or in a very high, kind of obvious manner. Or someone else in my family or household is having sort of a stressful day or panic attack, and having to deal with their panic, and also maintain my good level of stress and panic, keeping my panic under balance. And so that's been one of the hardest things, I think, this summer, and then doing the just kind of being isolated, not being able to drive too many places. And then what has worked for me, another thing has worked for me, is just allowing God to critique my personality as much as I can allow it. Working on things that I need to either confess, get things off of my chest, I recommend a counseling service called BetterHelp. They're a good counseling service that you can do right on your phone, and you can video chat with counselors. They help you just with a whole number of issues that are going on in your life, and I found that service very useful. So I recommend that. And they have another one called Headspace as well, which I think I'm going to try to download right now, actually, as I'm looking at this app. I also recommend you can create a website. You can create your own blog website, or try to come up with something new. You know, maybe blogging is getting a little bit overrated, a little bit saturated, and so maybe you can try inventing some new way to record yourself. And so anyway, meditation is good. You know, Headspace, it's kind of a meditation app, and you get a chance to just kind of reflect on yourself, reflect on your life. And then breaking bad habits. So I think what hasn't really worked for me a lot is when I'm alone, having that temptation to either like, you know, go back to a bad habit. I find that a little bit more difficult, and so I think isolation definitely doesn't work for me when trying to deal with bad habits, like smoking a cigar or something. And so I've been downloading a lot of classes on Udemy, and I like that service. Sometimes periodically they have low cost classes, and you can get a certificate pretty easily. It's not like super easy. You actually have to go through the class, but they don't make it like super difficult where, you know, you actually get something from it. And they actually have some pretty good instructors on there. So I recommend taking a class. You know, I've heard a lot of people talking about that. You know, going for a walk around your house or around your apartment community. Check out more about your community that you haven't looked at when you would normally either be just going in from work, or, you know, you would normally not have the time necessarily. Like, you might have the time, but you might choose something else over that moment to just walk around your apartment community or your house, or just look outside. Sometimes I just watch the cars go by, watch people just drive by. So that's been helping. What's not been helping is, I would say panicking. Like obviously I've been talking about, you know, I guess not letting the panic get to me, but I think, you know, not creating a situation for myself where I'm letting myself panic, if that makes sense. Like I'm kind of helping myself panic, and I'm not really being mindful about how I'm thinking or talking. So I know being with other people in my house, sometimes it can get a little bit hectic on my end, how I imagine it. And sometimes it's just like, you know, just almost like a party. And sometimes at parties, you never know what's going to happen there. Like, obviously, most parties are pretty cool, but depending on the type of people you hang out with, there's some parties where you never know if there's one of those people that are just kind of always looking for something fun. I'm not necessarily talking about something criminal, but you never know what's going to happen. So I think just reading and studying up has been helpful. And not letting my guard down as if, you know, maybe a bad habit, you know, will come back, or, you know, just being aware of other people's, you know, feelings and sensitivities as I'm talking to them, and not kind of creating a bad situation for myself or others. So this year, I'm a new dad. And that's amazing, you know, and I'm just preparing myself more and more as my daughter grows up. And I would say, you know, Jesus is leading me down a good way. You know, on this channel we talk about Jesus, and we also just talk about interesting things. Sometimes I find it challenging that, I think sometimes I think of God in a way of he teaches us a lot of things, and I think he knows what we're capable of. And so sometimes I feel like I'm relying too much on Jesus to do things, and I need to put in effort in the correct way. I'm not supposed to be like necessarily texting someone or maybe calling this number or person, because I know that it's just going to end up in confusion or something. And so I think just trying to practice self-control, but also trying to trust the Lord, as more and more, I think in isolation, just trying to trust Jesus and realizing that he does have a plan, and he has workers himself that work for him, and he has people that he's not just doing everything on his own. He has angels that are good workers, or he has people on his side that are capable of carrying out the task that he has set. So just trying to keep a level head, and then just Googling what to do when alone. This podcast could be a catalyst for you to just Google even more than what you've already Googled. Sometimes it's hard to remember that Google has so many pages of articles. I usually only go to pages like 1 through probably 5 on average, but more like 1 through 4 or 3 on average. But they have so many articles out there that on a lot of different topics, and on the same topics but in from multiple people. So just taking advantage of that. I know that my business has improved. My website planning business, I don't necessarily have a functioning business yet, but I have a website that I'm just trying to get ready, and I like how it's improved so far over the summer, and I think I'm just hopeful. So yeah, those are pretty much it. I've been taking care of my body a lot more. Sometimes I take a shower just for relaxation, not necessarily out of routine or out of cleaning, and so I hear that's a good technique. Maybe, purposefully eating a healthy snack outside of your usual eating routine, or trying to throw in some fitness, or, if you don't watch movies a lot, trying to throw in a movie or a TV show if you already don't watch a lot. Or the opposite, if you do watch a lot, so not watching so much TV. But yeah, thank you so much for just tuning into this Counting Wisdom. I've been not feeling so much alone just by recording. If you have an iPhone, you have voice memos, and you can just record and observe about different topics. And no one has to be there, but you can still record your voice and as if you're talking to someone, or you plan on sharing that voice memo. And that's been helpful when just kind of spending time alone, but also taking advantage of social media as well, trying to contact people. I've contacted a few people on Instagram, but I would say, as is a lot of people here around the world are in a bit of trouble. We're all in a stressful time. And so we have to do our best to be social, but also be loving, also be safe, look out for each other's safety and our own safety, and, just being nice to each other. So may Jesus bless you. Thank you so much for just listening to this, and I will see you on the next recording, or you'll hear me. And yeah. All right, bye.